First time?
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Tuesday edition of the Ciderhaus. That is my guest. That is not me. I am Mihai Shogor. I am your host on Tuesdays. This is the Ciderhaus. Ciderhaus Rules, a 1984 novel by American writer John Irving. The title refers to a list of rules that the workers are supposed to follow, but they can't read, they don't know, and they don't follow them. Joining me today, my good friend Tommy Conlon. How are you, Tommy? Let me turn your microphone on real quick and make sure you speak right into that thing.
Doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, hanging around. Also joining us next to Tommy Conlon, Frank Grillo.
Howdy, folks. How you doing?
Oh, there we go.
Good to see you guys again.
Yeah. What do you mean again?
Oh, yeah, first time.
On the show, isn't it?
Got my Dylan Mulvaney squirt juice.
Yes. I'm getting a little echo here. I'm not quite sure. Let's see here. Does that fix it? You guys chat. How are we doing? How's the chat doing? You guys hear any echo, or is that just me making that up in my head?
A lot of noise.
There's a lot of noise, is there not? Working on it. Anyone from the chat want to let me know, feel free.
Yeah, how do we hear?
Frank, what have you been up to this week? That did help a lot. Wow. Incredible. My ears no longer hurt. Tommy Conlon, thank you very much for joining us. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit to the people?
Hey guys, I'm Tommy, former Marine. I guess once a Marine, always a Marine. Served 4 years in infantry. I was an 0331 machine gunner. Spent a lot of time on machine guns, and now I'm trying to go to school. So, interesting lifestyle.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming in here. I've known you for quite a while. I'm excited to have you here on the show with me. Frank, what have you been up to this week?
I wasn't happy about the Bud Light either, by the way. All I had in my fridge, so
I didn't meant to
the last
actually
one I
ask
have,
you.
so
I
we're
meant
getting
to
it out of
ask
the way, and then we're going back to Old Faithful.
So, I don't know if you guys know this, but John Ward is actually not here tonight, in case you haven't figured that out yet. Before you leave, I will say he was here for a second. There I am. John, do me one good favor here.
What's up?
Step into that camera for a second. Say hi to the people.
What's up, people?
Well, see, actually, we got to check in on Justin Trudeau real quick.
Oh,
But I put it in the wrong window. Happens to the best of us, doesn't it?
You just want to interrupt me? Is that what that was?
Yep. For the last time we get to do this bit, I had to bring you in because now
I've also had a chance
Justin
to
Trudeau
reflect
has resigned.
and have had long talks
I don't
with
see
my
it.
family about our future.
The wrong interview.
yeah.
Throughout the course
I don't know
of my
why.
career.
I'm in the X window.
Did you put it in the X tab?
I did. I put it on the one that had X up.
God damn, bro.
dude, I'm sorry. I'll get rid of the Bud Light if it's that serious. It was free.
See, this is why.
All right, it's gone. It's gone. Don't worry.
Ooh, that's a nice sound of a crack.
There we go. Any better?
The mountains are blue.
Any better, Poppy?
There you go.
There we go. Even though the bit's been interrupted horribly,
Course radio.
we can now announce to the world that Justin Trudeau, pending the Liberal Party finding a new leader, has resigned once and for all. And for the last time, as you see him exit out of the room, there goes John Ward. Maybe he'll be back Thursday. I don't know.
Maybe.
Gentlemen, the show is now ours.
Howdy, folks. So how was your week? Anything special?
Not too crazy. I mean, we did work on that shit house. We're kind of finishing it up.
Shit didn't even fucking know.
Fucking, we got there. This house was like, I don't even know how to describe it. You couldn't see a bit of the floor. It was all garbage and all clothes and all little poop all over the floor.
Yeah, Mihai and I have had a great past month or so cleaning this house. This fucker texted me saying, "Hey, so-and-so needs us to go clean out this property. A hoarder used to live there." And as a collector myself... Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
As a collector myself, I was like, okay, perfect. Because this person, when I was thinking of hoarder, I was thinking about myself. You know, I have a hard time throwing stuff away when it's anything like woodworking related or tools or Pokemon cards. So
That's how I sold him on. I kind of
Yeah.
scammed him. I was like, we also get to keep anything that we find.
So I was like, hell yeah, we get paid and I can keep whatever's in the house. That's right up my alley. So we get there and you open the door and you got hit with this blast of just poop, dead animals. The grossest thing you could ever... I have a pretty strong stomach for stuff like that. I threw up immediately. Ask Mihai. I threw up a couple times on the back porch.
Dude,
You had to wear a respirator for the first couple weeks we were there. We didn't know there was any dead animals at the time, but we did in fact find a dead ferret in this one room.
Yeah.
And it was underneath a couple of pillows and blankets that were all piss stained. It was the grossest thing in the world. $30 an hour kind of helps, but also I probably took 10 years off my life doing that shit. But yeah, we didn't find anything. Moral of the story. And we found nothing but trash, poop, piss, and a dead ferret. And it took us about a week to clean. We took I think
That's
I had
not
a
true.
rake.
We did find a nice looking PlayStation 4. but
Oh,
we
yeah, true.
Accidentally dropped it 2 stories and broke it
Yeah.
immediately.
And it's a PlayStation 4. That shit's worthless. You can't- I don't think they make any games for that anymore. But yeah, really crazy. I don't know if I'm a better person for doing it. I feel like I'm grosser. I think I have that stain. It's in my skin, will never leave. But it was a good experience, I guess, seeing some shit like that, seeing how people or how animals live. That the fact that this person had kids and lived,
And that's the
house for
crazy
so
part.
long, and the Child Protective Services didn't do shit. So apparently, they're fucking worthless. That's good to know. So if you ever want to save someone, don't call Child Protective Services because they fucking suck.
We literally fucking found the letters, like, because the mail still came to the house even while we were working there.
Yeah.
And there were letters from Child Protective Services telling him he won the case and he gets to keep his kids. And we're like, if this person gets to keep their kids, how does anybody ever get their kids taken away?
Yeah, like, that's nuts to me.
Wild. It is wild. It's the people that are actually good people that probably get their kids taken away. That's the fucked
And then
up
people
part.
like this that live in actual piles of shit.
And the amount of like fucking weed carts and like
Oh, yeah,
fucking
in every
bad,
room in the
like,
house. I
fucking
mean,
jewel pods, whatever. It was like all nasty.
smoke
shit.
your weed, I don't care. But we kind of acknowledge that these people had younger children.
Yeah,
of
these
the
kids
age of,
are
like,
not,
middle
like-
school.
yeah.
And there was weed stuff in their room. So it's like at a certain point, you got to be a better father and be like, hey, maybe don't smoke.
Clean your room. Get the dead ferret out from under
Yeah,
your
like
bed.
clean your shit up. But like I said, mental illness probably was hitting hard in that family. So that's kind of a tough subject when it comes to that. But what can you do? What can you do?
You ever had to do? You've done some construction shit in your life, right?
I have.
Make sure you get that mic rub.
First time on
It is his first time, and so you got to give him a break. But speak real loud and speak real into it, like so, like really get on it.
How's this?
It's good. Just
Almost got to suck it.
Suck it.
yeah. I don't know. You've done cabin shit. I know that. Like we talk about, I have a cabin as well, and I know you've worked on cabins up in Maine, right?
Yep, that's what I spend my summers doing, is going up to northern Maine, building cabins for my family and also for other people in need up there.
No, that's good shit. That's good shit. Do you guys get them from kits, or how do you get the logs?
So most of it is there's already like a floor plan designed when we get there. The walls are up. We mostly do interior work when we're doing it up there. But I've done both kits and from scratch.
And from scratch. Wow. That was like, it's like my goal in life. I'm a bit over my head currently in my own project.
It's getting
Frank
there.
Grillo's
It's getting
seen
there.
it,
It
but-
looks, now that we took that wall down, it looks a lot better in the house.
My original goal was like to build my own from scratch, but even just restoring one is a whole lot of
Pain
work.
in the ass.
Whole lot of work. I should remind the chat, by the way, while we're still here, we do have a 20 goal stream. The chat stream is still live. So when we reach 20 super chats, one of these fine gentlemen over here is going to have to drink out of the helmet of shame. Have we decided who that's going to be yet?
I haven't washed it, but we'll see. We'll see if we get close, then we'll start debating.
I'll rock, paper, scissors you for it.
That works. That works.
Oh,
It's,
Laughing
I don't
Dog.
Think, I don't think I cleaned it out from last time. So
Laughing Dog said, y'all got an early lesson in family court. It's pathetic, and Jethro is right. It's got to be tied to CST. I don't know. Do we want to know
what is
what his
CST
experience
stand
with the
for?
family court is? I don't know.
Fine
I don't know
idea.
what CST is. Honestly, if you could tell me, I would have more to say. But I'm sorry that if you've had to deal with it personally. That's all I can,
Oh,
that's all I
custody,
can really say.
maybe.
Maybe.
But either way, yeah, it was fucking pathetic.
I thought it was Central Standard Time.
We got
No.
Trudeau's resigning. How about that?
Yeah, no. I mean, that is pretty cool. I don't know. It's
Sick of it too.
I guess
Did
he
get
like had no
bullied out?
choices.
Is that
Yeah,
what you
he
think?
literally got bullied out.
He got bullied out,
Mhm.
or was it? I think it wasn't just Trump antagonizing him. I think his entire country fucking hates him at this point. So from one of my buddies' parents lived there, and they're the pretty left leaning, but even they were like, yeah, it was time for him to get the hell out. So I think his Castro's son, is no longer going to be the prime minister.
I have to say, I have to take this moment while we have a Marine here in our presence. I'm a bit of a history nerd. Sometimes I'm not always right, but our historians even right. I feel like they make shit up half the time too. I have quite the fascination with the founding of the Marine Corps and how it became a thing. I know you know this song.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we find our country's battles in the air, on land and sea.
So that song, and you can explain this better than I can, is the hymn of the Marine Corps. Am I right?
Absolutely, the thing we live by.
Thing you live by. And that song in itself actually tells a piece of the story about how the Marines were founded. It's very interesting. On November 10th, 1775, the Second Continental Congress had a meeting in Philadelphia and passed a resolution stating that 2 battalions of Marines should be raised to service landing forces with the fleet. This resolution established Continental Marines, marking the official birth date of the U.S. Marine Corps. Now, interesting enough, the Marine Corps actually predates the United States itself. And you can see that was at 1775, and the United States wasn't officially a country until we signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776, but I don't think we actually became a real country until like 1781. I could be wrong on that. Sometime in the 1780s, though. And then, after we became a country, you ever heard of the Barbary Pirates? Have you ever played a game called Empire Total War? That's a better question.
I don't think so.
Empire Total War, it's like Rome Total War. If you've ever played that, you ever played Rome Total War?
Negative.
Wow. Rome Total War is a great game, but Empire Total War it's you control a colonial European country, and it's a turn-based game where you compete against the computer or other online. I don't even think that one has online. But long story short, you control this country and you try and take over the world. All right? But in that game are the Barbary Pirates, who occupy the north coast of Africa. And they are the most annoying sons of bitches in the game, because every time you try and send a ship anywhere, they will just immediately raid it. Anytime you have a trading route anywhere, they will raid it. That is because that's what they did in real life. And Thomas Jefferson got really fucking tired of it. So you know what he did? He said, we got these Marines that predate our country and only are controlled by the president. And to this day, that's actually true. The Marines are the only force that can be deployed anywhere in the world without declaration of war by Congress.
America's 911.
America's 911, correct. And that is because Thomas Jefferson chose to enact that when the Barbary Pirates are raiding us. In the beginning of the song, they go from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Thomas Jefferson sent the Marines to Tripoli. He got really fucking tired of these Barbary Pirates, so he just sent them from America in 1784, I think this was, all the way to Africa. So you think about, like, America's got a long way to go before we're competing in European wars, but we sent these boys, the first war we ever fought in as a country, other than the Revolutionary War, of course, we sent some Marines to freaking Africa, which almost kind of makes everything today make sense when you start to think about it, actually.
I think so.
But we fucked shit up. We ended the war in less than like a week. We just rolled up on their beaches and just fucked everyone that we came across, mowed them down. And for that reason, actually, the first country to ever recognize the United States, if you Google it, let's see if I'm right here.
Be that hymn. My dad would sing that to me growing up as a kid, so I remember that a lot.
Yeah, I'm not even Marine. That song gets me amped up.
I'm not either,
You're
but my
supposed to
dad
stand at
was.
attention when the song's playing, and I'm hate for that because I wasn't standing, but
Sorry, you know it was coming.
I'm retired.
The first
Thought you
country
guys
to
never
ever
retired.
recognize the United States was Morocco.
Interesting.
How about that? So then, if we go back here, we play this one more time. Attention!
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we find our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. Searching life for right and
start to realize that it's not just a song. It's so much more than a song. It is everything that is embedded within America. It is what makes us great. It is our way of life.
With the Marine Corps too, we're just so embedded in history. I mean, our uniforms, known to have the best uniforms, by the way.
I don't think that's even questionable, honestly.
Hugo Boss kind of got a fire.
Yeah, there was some vintage Hugo Boss uniforms back in the day that were pretty cool, but
Till today, I would still say we have the best uniforms. And Army's trying to revive it, but I don't think they have it in them yet. But yeah, no, we're super rooted in history, and the only branch, by the way, founded in a bar.
that is also true. And I missed that part. Damn.
That's maybe the most important part.
I forget the name of it. Do you know?
Sun Tavern.
Yes. Frick. There's a lot of cool stories about things being founded.
Bro, my friend.
There's a lot of things being cool things like they're founded in bars. I remember the Rough Riders was founded in a bar in San Antonio. Teddy Roosevelt gathered a bunch of boys and got them to go to war. Freaking there was this famous bar that was outside of West Point, like during the Civil War, pre-Civil War, when all those generals were at West Point and they weren't allowed to drink. And they would all sneak away to this guy's house and they would all go there and drink at night and have a party. And ironically enough, the person who ended up getting it shut down because he ratted on them, freaking who was the president of the Confederacy? I'm blanking hard. Jefferson Davis. I wanted to say Thomas Jefferson, and I knew that wasn't right. Jefferson Davis ratted them out because he wasn't allowed to go to the cool kids party, so he told their superior officer, and it got shut down. So it's kind of
Where was this?
It was outside of West Point, pre-Civil War, and it was like Ulysses S. Grant was like a legend there. He would throw him down. Like there was some old guy who just like had a house and like would always.
Did these guys party hard, man?
Yeah, it'd be like kind of like
yeah.
Like some old guy in like Boalsburg having us over to his house to drink all the time.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Can you pull up the quote by, I believe it's Mrs. Roosevelt, what she says about Marines? It's one of the greatest quotes of all time, I think, about the Marine Corps. It embodies everything.
Yeah, remember when you guys didn't let me join?
Remember when you were broken?
Is it this one right here? The Marines I have seen around the world have the cleanest bodies, the filthiest minds, the highest morale, and the lowest morals of any group of animals I have ever seen. Thank God for
Amen.
the United States Marine Corps.
And you know, one of the Marines looked over at his buddy in that while she said that, and he said, I'd hit that.
That is hilarious. That's an awesome quote.
I think I have a bumper sticker on my fridge my dad got. It said, what does it say? It says, when it positively has to be destroyed overnight, and it's just the Marine Corps logo.
What is your, what was the thing that made you join the Marine Corps? Like, what was the thing, like, growing up? You're like, I want to be a Marine.
I would say seeing videos on YouTube and definitely looking more into the war on terror myself. As a young kid, I really didn't have a grasp on what was actually going on. But I knew I wanted to do some high adrenaline stuff in my life. And I played hockey growing up, and that was a very high adrenaline sport. And, you know, I was a fighter in hockey, so I think the Marine Corps was kind of my natural calling. And when everybody else, you know, growing up here kind of went off to school, I was heading off to the Marine Corps, and I felt good about that.
Yeah, I'd say it was pretty fitting for you.
Yeah, I think it was a good branch I picked. The best.
If you had to go back, let's say if you couldn't join the Marines, let's say they just didn't allow you, like me, because I'm just so cool. What would you do?
Ugh. I would probably say the Navy, honestly. I'd probably try to go some sort of special operations in the Navy. They have some pretty good operation or programs with like SWIC, which you're still under special warfare. You're just not a full-blown Navy SEAL. But I definitely want to do something in the Special Operation Command in another branch if it wasn't the Marine Corps, for sure.
I see.
Dude, people are going to make fun of me for this. I think I was going to talk about this last time, but I tried joining the Marines. They didn't let me join because my back's all messed up supposedly, but
Scoliosis, was it?
no, it's something like that. Like I'm going to say this wrong, but thoracic spinal stenosis or something, which I don't have.
That sounds real.
The Marine Corps doctor or whoever was at MEPS was wrong about my back. Geisinger and the other hospitals around it said that they were wrong, but oh well, maybe, happened for a reason, the way I think about it.
He wasn't committed enough to go back to MEPS, that's for sure.
No, I wasn't allowed. They denied me. But
Is it a one-time thing? Once you get denied once, like you're
I honestly don't know, but I got denied. Did you?
Did you?
Yeah, I got denied.
So what, you had to go back?
Yeah.
How does that work? Because I had to sign a waiver or write some kind of paper saying, like, I'm okay. If I got hurt, it's not your guys' fault. It was my own doing. And that got denied. So after that got denied, I was like, okay, well, what else can I do? So then I just went back to college. But besides that, besides the Marines, I thought about joining the Coast Guard because in Boy Scouts, we did a lot of, we did some trip where we went to go visit a bunch of Coast Guard places. And people always make fun of them. I mean, probably for good reason. But I feel like I feel like they do stuff. You know what I mean? If you join the Coast Guard,
I
you can
wouldn't
do
want to have
search
to
and
be
rescue
like
stuff. So it's like I'd be, I'd have fun. Not fun,
yeah,
but
not that I
doing
wouldn't
something.
want to be, but I couldn't, in my current capacity, go jump out of a helicopter in the middle of the ocean and save someone that was drowning from a ship.
Too pussy. I'm just
In like
saying,
a thunderstorm,
would.
like
Yeah,
20-foot waves. Like,
I'd be up there
imagine.
going, fuck.
I gotta jump into that.
Yeah,
What?
no thanks.
What?
But as I say, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty cool job too, being able to do, search and rescue to that kind of, craziness. I don't know. Maybe I'll start. You know how I told you I was into caving and whatnot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll start doing. I'll try to train and become a search and rescue for people that get stuck in caves. I feel like that's
Got to be a
rush.
thing, right?
That's got to be fun. Or like the the underwater diving side of caving, where it's like it's not just like a dry cave. You're swimming with scuba gear. That's some fucking hardcore shit.
Tom, you ever gone in caves? I feel like you'd be the kind of guy to go in caves.
Up in Maine, I've done my fair share of ice caves up there. It's really cool. Back in the day, they used to do a lot of logging on the natural lakes, but when they were hunting, they would kill their deer and bring them down into these big ice caves that remain cold throughout the entire year. Middle of the summer, I've been up there, and it's freezing cold down there.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
That
pretty
sounds
cool.
fun. I'd
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
like my family in Romania, they have a winery, and it's like dug into the side of a mountain. It's actually really cool. It's like, here's the village. Here's the village, and then behind the village is a hill here, and then every family that lives in the village has their own winery up in the hill. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of like an old moonshining movie almost, where you fucking like see a bunch of like fires and like parties going on the the mountainside at night. I don't know if there's many moonshining movies. There's one that comes to mind where that happens, but I don't remember the name of it. But long story short, everyone has a long like tunnel dug into the mountain, and it's like freezing cold at the very back. That is cool. And it's like when the communists were in charge, that was like their refrigerator. That's where they kept all their food. Now they have like electrical appliances. Still not quite where we're at here, but they have TVs and refrigerators. And
See, Laughing Dog saying Coast Guard is on par with the Marine boot camp, or very close to it, I heard.
I have also heard similar to that, and I've seen videos of a Coast Guard boot camp where the drill instructors are actually screaming at you the entire time, which is very different than Air Force or Navy or Army.
So I went to the Coast Guard Academy, or like toured it, I mean, with the Boy Scouts when I was a kid. It seemed pretty fucking legit to me. Like, I don't think it's easy to get into that shit. I mean, just like, the Naval Academy or whatnot. I don't think it's easy to get into. So if you do get the opportunity to go, like,
what do you think the
pretty damn
dropout
cool.
rate is?
I have no idea. Probably look it up. Kind of interested.
What would you guess, Tommy?
Of the Coast Guard Academy, the dropout rate? Fuck, I don't know.
30%.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 40% maybe. I don't know.
Eh.
Is that excessive?
19%.
19. What's the dropout rate of a Marine Corps boot camp? Do you know?
I can find out.
I feel like it's either high or it's not as high you think, because the people going into it are just prepared for what they're going to do.
experience, some shitbags make it through.
Really?
Trash people do make it through, and they do claim the title. But
I can think of a couple people we went to high school with where I'm like, wow.
I don't know.
I agree. Coast Guard deserves respect. Those fuckers they're doing stuff. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're doing as much of that pirate stuff anymore, but
All right, so
that search and rescue,
would you like
that
to know
goes a long
the
way.
female dropout rate in the Marine Corps boot camp or the male? I love how the Marines are the only ones that still break it down by that too, probably. Like, they don't even give a fuck.
Yeah. What's the female? I'm guessing, is it higher?
It is higher, quite considerably, actually.
80?
No, not quite that.
That's way too high.
Oh my gosh, I read it wrong, and now I feel like an idiot.
Or the women making the men.
The women drop out less than the men.
yeah.
Yeah. The women drop out at 13%, and the men drop out at 22%. That is fascinating. Maybe they're harder on the men, or maybe I'm sexist. I don't know.
What's the ratio compare men to women?
Yeah, it's also, I don't know. But it's percentage based on a whole number. So
They have 5 companies of male and 1 of female, but now they're starting to do integrated training where it's male.
I was about to ask. I was like, did they have co-ed type stuff there? I don't know how that kind of stuff works. So
They didn't when I went through. I think when I went through, they were talking about it, but they never actually implemented it yet.
well, it's like the Boy Scouts.
I know. There's
women now.
no John Ward tonight. Unfortunately, no John Ward. He's left the reins to me. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing is still to be decided. I'm not quite sure. I think we're hanging in there. Though we're doing a good job. We're just having this is Ciderhaus. So John Ward has his show on 3CC. He's on here. I mean, every other time except for this. And the idea is sort of to always have a rotating cast of characters in this show, and he's trying to let it be what it's supposed to be. So I can't really blame the guy. But I also wish he was here if it's worth anything.
He is entertaining.
He is. He would have some like I don't know. Like I always feel like he's analyzing my mind every time he comes. I don't know if the question he's asking me is really because he wants to know the answer to that question, or if he wants to know how I would answer that question. If that makes sense.
Did you beat Indiana Jones yet?
I have not beat Indiana Jones yet. I am still somehow in Egypt.
Still stuck at Cairo, huh? That'll happen.
I haven't played as much. I can't.
That's all I've been doing this week. I've been a complete degenerate. Besides working at the hoarder house or your house, I've just been putting all of my time into video games. Nothing. I go back to school soon, so I'm enjoying it before I can.
I hear you. I should also remind the chat, we are taking live calls tonight, so if you feel like calling us, go ahead, call now. 202-922-7770. 202-922-7770. Call now. That's my
That's
rating.
pretty good.
That's the best one yet.
I can get you a job in radio if you want.
I'm working on it. Yeah, no. So I actually do have another story here. This is good news. I'm excited about this. Well, let me ask you, Frank, actually, have you gotten the vaccine?
The COVID vaccine?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. I have all my other, growing up, I had all my other vaccines, but that's the one
If you were a female, would you get the COVID vaccine?
I know where you're going with this.
If you were more specifically my female, I would make you get the COVID
But
vaccine.
I might.
Where I'm going with this is,
Nope.
pop-up ad.
Free ad.
COVID-19 coronavirus. Women are claiming boobs are getting bigger after having a Pfizer jab. There was many other sources, but the one that was... So this actually story is from, interestingly enough, 2021. But the big story that's been going around today, I think, is from The Sun. And I just refuse to ever have The Sun be an article I use. It's for personal reasons, but...
It's fair.
Coronavirus, I mean... I would
Why
like
is
to
that?
think that that's
Why
true.
is that?
So why is that is
Just
a great question.
Is it complete bullshit or...
I have a theory of my
titties
own.
getting a little
I have a
bigger?
theory of my own, but I'm open to suggestions. I don't know if it's true. I hope it's true. Partially.
Why couldn't it be the other way around? If my schlong would get bigger with...
Oh, I thought you were going to say,
jab,
why couldn't they get
maybe
bigger
I'll just
asses?
start getting a bunch of jabs. Add a couple inches,
There is other ways.
Is there a study for that?
There is other ways. I don't know.
That insurance will pay for?
So this is my theory. This is from 2021 as well. COVID vaccine side effect in large lymph nodes can be mistaken for cancer. So something tells me these women are like all excited about having large boobs because they got the Pfizer vax, and now actually they don't know they have
But it's
massive
just
fucking
cancer.
breast cancer. Yeah, their lymph nodes in their armpits or whatever just
Well, time will tell what the
Swelling up,
long-term
making
effects
their
of that
boobs
shit
appear
were.
to be
And I don't
bigger.
think they're going to be good. Maybe I'm just a retard.
Well, think about that. Wouldn't that make sense? So if they're pushing your boobs in, this is a very sophisticated conversation.
Go on, yep.
If you have lymph nodes underneath your armpits, right? If they push your boobs in, all of a sudden the girl is going to think now because she doesn't fit in her bra that she has bigger boobs. When in reality, the space is just taken up by the cancer.
That's rough. Hopefully that's not true. Hopefully Nobody's getting cancer.
Pour one,
But
pour one out for the big boob Pfizer babies. Yep. Yep. What else we have on the program? I guess I should
Hold
be a little bit of a better host. Oh, yes. I want to follow up on something here. You remember last week we were talking about the possibility of us invading Greenland and Panama and Mexico and anywhere that we could possibly imagine. Have you seen any much about this, Tommy? You seen what Trump's been saying about that?
I've been seeing a few things about it.
What are your thoughts on that? Would you re-enlist if we went to war with Mexico?
Mexico? I don't know about that. I know the cartel's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, and that's my take on it, though. Like, don't the cartels kill way more Americans every year than a lot of the, like, some Somali village or something like that?
More than the wars have in the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, right? I mean, how many people die of fentanyl overdose every year now? So it almost seems like logically it would make more sense to invade Mexico, and then I don't know that I would actually want to keep Mexico, though. That's where I get, like, sort of lost in this conversation. It's like, do I really? Scooter! Go Army, 101st Airborne Ramadi 0506. Well, thank you very much for that, dude.
He's on the 240 right there.
Yeah, no,
That's my bread and butter.
kind of noise that thing make. No, I think it's more like it's definitely more like what he was saying. I think it's a little more baritone. Pew, pew, pew.
101st is some hard hitters.
Yeah, no, 100. Isn't that the ones from fucking Band of Brothers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I wonder if that's why he joined the 100, or like if it was a goal in life for him to be in the 101st because of Band of Brothers. There's no way.
I've never watched.
There's no way those guys don't
through
just
yet.
watch Band of Brothers all the time. Like
They do.
Damian Lewis, that's the ginger guy.
yeah, from Billions.
I like
You seen that
Damian
show?
Lewis. I feel bad. I watched Billions. I've watched I think the first couple episodes of Band of Brothers. I don't own it, or I don't know if it's on any of the streaming stuff I have, but I tried watching it and then completely forgot about it. But he is the main character of Billions. That was a really good show. If you guys have never watched it, I would. I enjoyed it at least.
Billions is honestly, it might be the best show on TV.
I liked it a lot. It's like modern Wolf of Wall Street,
Mm-hmm.
but a TV show. I liked it a lot. But I feel bad because his wife. Have you ever seen Peaky Blinders? The mom of Peaky Blinders was, or
Yeah.
like I think the mother in Peaky Blinders was his real life wife, and she I think recently died of cancer or something of the sort. So he took a break from the show and is no longer on it. And then Peaky Blinders kind of started falling through a little bit because of that. She was such a lead role in it.
Yeah, and he actually like took a season off of Billions. So if you wonder, like now, if you go watch it back and you wonder why, like there's a season without.
Because
Bobby
I
Axelrod.
stopped watching when it was just Jeff Bezos looking guy.
Yeah, that season did suck, but then he came back and I was hype. I haven't actually watched it since he came back, but
I didn't know he came back. I thought he was done.
I might have made that up, but I'm pretty sure he did.
Hopefully,
The
I was also
Pacific's
watching
another
it.
good one Chris just brought up.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
either.
it doesn't get as much love, but it is good. And that's the Marines, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I would assume because of the Pacific. Yeah.
That has the John Basilone scene, and I don't know if any of the chat knows John Basilone.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Fury wanted to know.
So here's what Trump said earlier. Trump says he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which I think is incredibly based. I mean, I always wonder, why the hell is it called the
say
Gulf
that
of
earlier.
Mexico? How do they get that?
That'd be ours.
I just think it's hilarious. I mean,
I saw that Don Jr. and Associates were going to were in Greenland earlier today, or maybe yesterday, but I think it's today.
yeah, the Trump plane landed in Greenland, which is hilarious.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go set up shop, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Go live in Greenland.
And speaking of, here is Trump talking about Greenland.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right protecting the free world for a long time.
That's I just want to pause it there for a second. Remember when last week we were talking about, we Googled how many people
Yeah, it was like what,
Greenland has?
56,000?
Yeah. 45 is what he just said, but there's more people in State College than there are in all of Greenland. Like, how wild is that?
It's wild.
State
but I
College
guess
is
it
by
kinda
no
makes
means
sense,
a
'cause,
big.
I mean,
it's
how
not even
much
a
of
city.
it's like,
It's a town. It's a town. We're not in a city right now.
I'll say how much of it is like habitable. Like, I feel like this maybe not the
That's
most fun place
yeah,
to live.
You can. I think it's like literally just like little pockets of tiny villages, like one main city, all on the coast. Like nobody lives inland. Maybe like a couple like Inuit Eskimos, if that's still a thing up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anybody that would talk to us would be living inland
Talk to
or
us.
outland.
Sorry.
So what would that
Zeb,
do
what's
for
up, my boy Zeb? Zeb here. Zeb's a good dude. I met him. He came to an event. It was actually the Destiny debate. Zeb was here, and I met Zeb. Then went out to dinner and went to the event and watched John Ward yell at Destiny over a Zoom call, which is funny.
I'm with you, Banana Pants. I'd go too.
But Zeb, he's a Marine himself. He was a sniper in the Marine Corps.
Raw?
Good dude, good dude. What's up, Zeb? Thank you for stopping by. And then he also said he wants to invade Canada. And then, oh shit. Once again, I just want to revisit this topic because this is now, I saw all these videos of Trump actually speaking on these things that we were hypothesizing last week. And I just wanted to give a little update on it.
The leader of the Conservative Party in Canada said, under no circumstance
Sorry.
will it ever be the 51st
Then he
state.
maybe he won't win, but maybe he will. I
To David's
don't
point, you had suggested that
Listen,
you were
I don't care what he
considering-
says.
But Sir Lopez, you were considering military
I don't
force
care.
to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force, because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there. I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it. We're spending hundreds of billions a year to take care of Canada. We lose in trade deficits. We're losing massive. We don't need their cars. You know, they make 20% of our cars. We don't need that. I'd rather make them in Detroit. We don't need the cars. We don't need their lumber. We have massive fields of lumber. We don't need their lumber. We have to unrestrict them because stupid people put, restrictions on, but I can do that with an executive order. We don't need anything they have. We don't need their dairy products. We have more than they have. We don't need anything. So why are we losing $200 billion a year and more to protect Canada? And I said that to, as I called him, Governor Trudeau. I said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you, if we didn't, because we give them a lot of money. We help them. As an example, we're buying icebreakers, and Canada wants to join us in the buying of icebreakers. I said, we don't really want to have a partner in the buying of icebreakers. We don't need a partner. But no right. Nope. No right.
So I think that's hilarious. He's when this story first started coming out, it was just like news clips like, oh, Trump wants to go to war with Mexico and wants to take Canada, wants to Greenland. And it didn't seem very serious. And then just hearing him speak on these things, there's not a part of me that doesn't think he's serious about taking over these countries.
I'm with it. We're stronger in numbers.
Yeah, we've had this conversation before where if Trump does end up buying Greenland, like we have to sell everything and then move to Greenland. Not for our sake, but for future generations' sake. The same way like the pioneers went across America. And now
Save Greenland.
They like Yellowstone, John Dutton or whatever, like that would be us in Greenland.
Yep.
When do we ride?
Whenever we buy it. Dude, you could get up there. You could get down up there too. You snowmobiling, man, up in Greenland? You kidding me? Don't be confused by the name. Greenland's actually the one that has all the ice, and Iceland's the one that's green.
Tricky.
I don't know if it's true. They said that was like
Well, who
to
owns
confuse people
Iceland?
back in the day. Who owns Iceland? Iceland's actually its own country.
Okay.
Yes, I believe. And Greenland is owned by Denmark. Which, what the fuck's Denmark going to do?
I want to go to Iceland too. I think I've had some buddies that have gone there, or I
have heard
these,
cool things about Iceland.
These
lot of
Chinese
volcanoes.
students that I was buddies with, they went to both, and I saw the video, or I think I saw they made some YouTube video when they went to Greenland, and it was fucking nuts. I was like, I really want to go there. They were going all over the, like glacier-looking things where you'd see these ravines like hundreds of feet deep, and you just go hike around them. I was like, that's awesome. I want to go do stuff like that.
Yeah, and you see the Northern Lights up there. Think about how cool that would be.
Well, didn't we see them here?
No, not that fake stuff that the government was doing some sort of experiment, and all of a sudden everywhere could see the Northern Lights.
The chemtrails or whatever it was.
Yeah, chemtrails. Do you believe in that?
I don't know. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I most definitely don't.
I know we know for a fact that they release stuff in the air to do certain things.
I mean, it is a
medical-
fact that
or
you can
metals.
control the weather. They are actively doing that in like the Middle East and like Dubai and stuff.
But are they doing it to start hurricanes or stuff like that? I don't know. Do we have
Possibly? I don't
does
even
anyone
deny
have
that.
the capability to do
What
that? Maybe.
what I don't get is
Go on.
like I don't actually think that the trails coming out of jets engines are the government dropping chemicals to kill us.
Probably not.
I think
Well,
that's
that's a
what
little
I think
bold.
that's what the whole chemtrails thing is it not?
Yeah, I think I said this. Did you see that video of the flat Earth dude? He got that some scientist, or I don't know if it was another YouTuber, invited him out to
Oh yeah, I did see that. That was
Antarctica.
hilarious.
He's like, oh, yep, yeah, the sun sets where they said it does. I don't think the Earth's flat anymore.
Just a reminder to the chat out there, we do have a stream goal, 20 super chats. I might have started a little late. I thought we had it ready to go, but we didn't, so that's my bad. But I will count Screw McLovin. So when we get to 19, we're going to call it 20. And whoever gets to the 20 has to drink out of that. Fine looking helmet right there.
Is that ASMR?
Game worn.
ASMR.
ASMR.
Game worn.
Also, have we
communist
figured
helmet.
out exactly if this is real or whatever, where this came from?
I think we just say it's real.
Yep, it's real.
It was Vladimir
think someone
Putin's
died in
great
this.
grandfather's. He died in battle. Luckily enough, Vladimir Putin's father was just born 6 months prior and was able to carry on the family name, even though he never knew his father. It's actually quite a sad story. Wow. What else we got to talk about here? Did you see what Charlie Kirk said to Michelle Obama?
Big Mike, no.
No, I don't know what it means. Kind of ominous. Let me pull this up. Michelle Obama, the time has come for you to be revealed. That's what he said.
Did he, or is this a fake?
No, that's
Twitter.
Charlie Kirk.
Is that his real Twitter?
Oh,
Doesn't look like it.
there we go. Oh, no. All right, well, I tried to fix this
Good
so
enough.
you guys could see it, but here we go. These are the sort of problems we have, but, you know, sometimes you just got to roll through the punches. And he posted this picture, which is hilarious. Oh, so wait, this is Charlie Kirk news. I'm a fucking idiot. I fucking saw that on Twitter. I was like, why the fuck is... I got duped, dude. I got duped.
It happens, dude.
I was like, why the fuck's Charlie Kirk posting something like this of all people? Like, he just doesn't seem like the kind of person we throw. I got duped. I got done.
Yeah,
And
scrolling through
it's the,
Twitter's
well, you
hard
know what
now.
it is? Yeah, it's the blue check mark. I saw the blue check mark, and then I fucking...
There's been like 20 times. I'm like, oh my God, did Elon just say that? And it's just not Elon's account. It's just some fucking stupid shit.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I don't know.
Elon
I understand
News
from a
Mars.
business perspective why he changed the whole check mark thing, but
The Groypers ever come back, or are they still banned?
I don't know. I don't.
I think they're
follow
probably
up
still
with the
gone.
Groypers,
Yeah,
to
I
be
kind
honest.
of, after I saw that, I was like, well, Ripper. What happened to Barry Stratton, whatever his name was? Did you ever follow that account? It was pretty fucking funny.
No, I don't know who. The
You know
fuck
who that is? Well,
I feel
I
like I
guarantee
heard it, but I don't know who
someone
that
in the chat knows what I'm talking about. So
Follow up on last week's episode. We talked about the Cybertruck, right? Or that? No, we didn't, because
don't-
that hadn't even happened yet.
I
It was
don't know.
the day after.
Was I here at the last one? Oh no,
Yeah, it was
you
New
guys
Year's
did
Eve,
do
so
Thursday,
it was that night was New Orleans. You know,
Yeah, that shit's nutty. I have no idea what to believe anymore. I feel like it's almost impossible to find out the truth when shit like this happens because it's the fucking internet.
so the New Orleans one was weird because they originally tried to claim it wasn't a terrorist attack, right? And then the guy obviously, he had an ISIS flag on him while he committed the act. So that seems like an act of terror to me. Doesn't take a very smart person to figure that one out. But then it's coincidence, if you believe in coincidences, that a Cybertruck is left out of Trump Tower in Las Vegas, it was, and is loaded with fireworks and blown up on the same day.
Was that the same day?
It was the same day.
Jesus.
I don't, and not like, I might have been a good amount of time apart, but same day nonetheless.
Yeah, we need you in here, Zeb.
Yeah,
Next time. Zoom in.
damn, yeah.
But no, the last thing I saw with the Trump stuff was a lot of people probably saw this too on Twitter. Was there was a camera, I guess on the, I don't know what you call it, the carport of like the pavilion where you drive underneath of the hotel. There was a camera there, and you could clearly see the dude in the car move his head like a little bit like this or something like that before. Because I think the narrative was that he was dead before the bomb went off. But in this video, you can just see him kind of move in the car a little bit, supposedly. I don't mean, who knows? But and then the explosion went off.
And then you have Sean Ryan breaking the internet, having a guy on a show claiming that the person that was in that car wasn't the guy that the FBI is claiming is wanted for doing the crime, and then he's still alive, and then what was it? His kid's DNA didn't match the body that was found in the actual truck.
I didn't hear anything about that yet. That was, when you said that earlier, I was like, well, news to me, but I'll have to look at it a little bit later. But yeah, shit's nuts. Almost impossible to find out what's real or not.
And I don't know what to say about that, because then the guy that Sean Ryan had on the show, he actually then went a day later. I don't know who got to him, or if he just got cold feet, or he realized he was just what he was doing was wrong because he made up lies. I honestly don't know, but he backtracked everything and said, no, I do believe the guy's dead. So then that kind of like negated the whole story that was the biggest story for 24 hours. And I honestly don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's connected. I don't know what's not. I feel like Charlie
just another psyop
trying to connect all the dots
one
on the board, and I don't know how they all meet up, but I know that they do somehow. Right here, I'm gonna pull up. This is the email that Sean Ryan sent or had received from the guy. Oh boy, that's a lot. And once again, it doesn't quite fit on the thing. But in long story short, there was what? Tommy, you know about this. What was the event that happened in Afghanistan that he was trying to bring light to?
I believe it was in 2019. We were working in, and don't quote me on this, Kandahar province in Afghanistan. And I believe there was a cover-up due to falsified information that led to us striking individuals or civilians, really. And he wanted to bring light to that. I believe it's at the bottom of his email. That's kind of like the last point. That and the New Jersey drones that everybody's been kind of freaking out about the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it looks like you're spot on. Nimrud province in Afghanistan, 2019. DEA and CIA conducted strategic targeting strike over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of civilians, or because CIVCAs. What does that mean?
I think that's like confidential informants.
Okay.
Sorts.
It killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. Continued strikes after spotting civilians.
Isn't that what Obama did during?
Obama killed an American citizen with a drone strike. You know that?
Only one?
Two, but one of them was a 14-year-old.
Doesn't surprise me.
But his name is Abdul Almar al-Karaki or something like that. So, and he was in Syria, I believe it was, when he got hit with the drone strike.
What, just a little vacay?
The official story is that they was around terrorists and the family was involved with terrorists and was a terrorist family.
Wrong place, wrong time.
But the unofficial narrative is that it was a message to send to people that are considering switching sides.
Yeah. Yeah, aren't they saying the New Orleans, the guy that drove through that street that we were just talking about, weren't they saying that he was a member of ISIS, supposedly?
I believe so.
I saw something earlier that they found videos of him. He was on, because was that Bourbon Street? Where did that happen? Bourbon Street?
Bourbon Street, yep.
Because I saw someone on Twitter earlier that he was on Bourbon Street, let's say days or weeks prior, just recording, like kind of getting a lay of the land.
Did you guys also hear it was a multiple person attack? Like he had helpers to do the planning?
I don't know if it's the same thing. I remember reading something about how, I don't know if it was New Orleans or somewhere else, but they were talking about how there was 3 people going around the city planning IEDs, and then I never heard anything about it again. I don't know if that was New Orleans or if that was somewhere else, but I remember seeing something about there was supposedly 2 men and a woman going around whatever town it was putting IEDs, and then, like I said, I've not heard a single thing about it since. Maybe because I didn't look it up.
I feel like I've heard something recently about like the largest like store of IEDs being found in American history recently. Like some FBI raid found a preposterous amount of IEDs being made. I could be wrong, but I swear that happened recently too. So I'm gonna bring in right now. We got Jack Kentner coming in. Last week I had discussed the H-1B visa program, and a lot of you guys didn't like what I had to say. And I'm not set in any of my ways. I was just asking questions. Sometimes we don't like that around here, though. Apparently,
I think Sam Hyde said it best. If no one's seen the Sam Hyde 45-minute video, it's hilarious. And I think it sheds a light on.
Yeah, well, John had it linked. I saw in the doc.
Did he? So that I mean, my dad watched that last.
Yeah. Well,
night.
anyway, well, anyway, thanks for having me on, Mihai. I have a new mic set up. I got a new mic for Christmas. So how am I coming in? Do you guys hear me all right?
Yeah,
infinitely better, honestly. That's nice. I
Sweet.
like that,
Okay.
Jack. Yeah. What have you been up to? How you getting on?
Yeah, well, I've just still been in Indiana. I'm planning on coming over around mid-January in person. So I'll expect to see me in the studio again.
Nice.
But yeah, I know this is your part of the week, Mihai, so I appreciate you having me on. So we can discuss this.
Well, we meant to do a show last Thursday and then ended up getting canceled. And so I wanted to have you on because we want to talk about this then too. So however you want to start, however you want to sum up the H-1B visa program from your perspective.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll start by giving a background. So this is a major debate everyone in our sphere is talking about at the moment, and it involves tech pros arguing against the Trump base for increased H-1B visas. From what I've gathered is that the debate began when Trump appointed a guy named Sriram Krishnan as an advisor to David Sachs, who is overlooking crypto and AI for the incoming administration. Now, crypto and AI have nothing to do with this story, but Christian made comments advocating for the removal of country caps on issuing H-1B visas and started getting pushback online for it. Now, this detail is really important because it's getting missed by the media who are framing this as simply racist backlash against Indians. The current amount of H-1B visas that can be given to immigrants to work here is around 85,000 per year, and that might not seem like a lot, but the amount of applicants who are given approval to be issued H-1B visas is estimated to be more than 800,000 per year. You also have H-4 work visas, which are issued to spouses or other family members of H-1B visa holders. So those are huge numbers. We're talking potentially millions of jobs per year. And if we remove the caps, then that would cost Americans, of course, all these jobs, preventing them from earning a living. This is a major reason why people are upset and want confirmation that the removal of country caps is not happening. The backlash then naturally led to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy defending Christian's comments and H-1B visas through some very bizarre tweets that we'll get into. But this online debate has worried a lot of people, and rightfully so, because legal immigration reform has been a huge part of Trump's platform, as well as securing the border. And some of you in the audience might think, well, sure, some Americans will be out of jobs, but at least it would be based on merit, right? Well, not really, because many people on both sides of the political aisle have identified scandals and abuses of the H-1B system that primarily has to do with hiring cheap labor to artificially lower wages and to have an obedient workforce that cannot complain about their work conditions. So we're not even getting what we're being promised with H-1B visa program, which are people doing specialized jobs that cannot be found here. And there's actually a good CBS coverage, like news coverage about this in under my name in the doc. If you want to pull that up, Mihai.
CBS, you said?
Yep. It's titled H-1B Introduction to H-1B Visas.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got that one pulled up right. Hold on. Go there, and then freaking ad. See, I was trying to be prepared by having, but I didn't play the ads. Now I look stupid. But here we go.
Because of a law designed to help the job market. The H-1B visa bill was written
Is this guy having a stroke while he's talking right now? What's his name, Jack? Yeah.
The guy talking right now?
Yeah, what's his name?
Not too familiar.
It lets companies recruit foreign talent for
I've seen him before. He's
engineering
old
and
as shit.
scientific jobs. But loopholes allow for outsourcing of American jobs to foreign workers, often at lower pay. Bill Whitaker spoke to some Americans displaced by H-1B visa workers for Sunday 60 Minutes. They say they were asked to train workers who would take their jobs.
It wasn't called training or replacement. It was called knowledge transfer. Craig D'Angelo worked for Northeast Utilities, now called Eversource, and was one of 220 IT workers replaced by H-1B visa employees. D'Angelo says his replacement, a worker from India, told him he was making half D'Angelo's salary with no benefits.
I didn't get laid off for lack of work. I got laid off because somebody cheaper could do my job.
Almost sounds like he's salty there, though, Jack.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit more to it than that. There's like another guy who says that he was seeing all sorts of like positive reviews, like while working for Disney, but then he was just brought in and there's just solely fired. But yeah, that just shows that there's ongoing abuse, because the justification that we've gotten for how this H-1B visa program has been being applied has to do with job shortages, supposedly, but that begs the question: like, why is it being applied in this sense? Because if we have like a STEM worker shortage, then wouldn't it make sense to have both American workers and H-1B visa workers instead of having them replace the American workers? To me, that makes more logical sense.
I guess. So my argument before, and what I didn't realize, was the whole thing about them not being paid the same wage. I didn't understand that side of the argument. And I get that. I don't agree with that. I'd like to think that there's something to what Elon and Vivek are saying, that there are roles for people that, like skill jobs in engineering or whatever STEM field that may be, where we need more people. But then also to have those people get paid half of what Americans get paid is not right to me. I think the way you solve it is by reforming it. I don't think you can get rid of it, though, because I want to believe that there is a need for that. And I've talked about before our need to compete with China and other places in the world. And then you guys asked me, well, why was it Sam Hyde that said, why aren't the Indians going to China?
Well, yeah, he had a little joke about it. He's like, we got to fight with China. They're going to take all the Indians. We need to go to war with China. We need to get the nuclear option.
And the reason we say Indians' backstory here is what? It's Jack. It's 70% of these migrant or visa recipients end up being Indian.
Yeah, the majority of these visa recipients are Indian. So it's not just it's not people simply singling them out. It's just that they're the major beneficiaries of this program, and I feel as though it has to do with how large India's population is. So they're just going to naturally outcompete all the other people who apply for a visa.
Yeah. I remember looking, so I don't know if you guys really watch any soccer at all, but the Qatar World Cup was in 2022. Yes, 2022 was the Qatar World Cup. And I remember it was like 2014, Brian Gumbel. I think he's dead. So rest in peace. Pour one out for Brian Gumbel. Might have been Greg Gumbel, one of those two. They're brothers. I believe that he died, but before he died, they did this. He had a show called Real Sports, and they did a documentary following the building of these stadiums in Qatar for the World Cup. And it was all being built by slaves that were coming from Nepal. And they would just get sent home in these red boxes. They weren't even caskets. They were just like boxes, the dead bodies. And it was like, they went to the airport and it was like hundreds of bodies a day just being shipped back to Nepal. And these people were getting paid like 10 cents an hour, living like worm-infested like shacks. It was crazy. So, I mean, I don't want us to become that. I don't want us to have the level of wealth disparity where we are like a Qatar, where we have 1% of the people just paying us all to be slaves. But is that where this all goes, Jack?
Oh, it's hard to say. Mainly the main reason companies seem to be applying the H-1B visa is just to save money. Like I said, they're not really. Since it's a government program, it's not working within the confines of the market, but it's more so them trying to artificially set wages that's in spite of the market. And a lot of Americans are not happy with that. And there have been studies that have found that if this program were done away with, then the tech wages in the tech sector would just rise. And you even have like a bunch of just individual lawsuits that have found discrimination against American non-Indian immigrants and American workers in favor of these visa holders. So I think there's just a whole slew of abuse happening, and yeah, I think at the very least reform is needed. But moving on to like what Vivek and Elon said, they bring up interesting cultural arguments in related to this. So and Vivek's tweet in particular got him a lot of pushback. I don't know if you guys want to read it or
yes.
Or if I should.
Hold on. I'm actually going to try and fix this now. Oh, boys.
There we go.
We almost know how to run OBS. There we go. Yes, so the reason top tech companies often hire foreign I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's very long, Jack. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's fine. But the gist of it is that American culture is deeply flawed, and as such, we need to import people who can do the jobs Americans either don't want to do or are incapable of doing. And he also goes on a tirade against how we supposedly don't hold intelligence, like the nerds, in high regard, and instead we hold the jocks in high regard. He uses like this weird like high school terminology.
Yeah.
But I would say the opposite. Really, I would say we hold nerds in high regard, and we've like notoriously had depicted jocks in a bad light in recent memory. Like, I wouldn't say we really hold masculinity.
I mean, shit, man. How many times did fucking Bill Gates fly on Jeffrey Epstein's plane?
Good point.
I mean,
yeah, like that's a good point. We have we have all these major figures such as Elon. We have Mark Zuckerberg, like all these tech bros that have been like popularized in pop culture. But you're telling me that we don't respect intelligence at all? Like, I don't agree with that at all.
No, but I actually do kind of agree with it, if I'm being honest, not joking aside. I definitely think as a culture, I think that's like,
we're definitely flawed.
I agree with the most in his statement that we worship the prom queen over the math Olympiad, is what he said. The jock over the valedictorian. I don't disagree with that, and to say the culture that does that doesn't produce the best engineers, also I don't see that as being wrong. I mean, I can't think of like a famous, I don't know, I guess like Good Will Hunting, you could say, is about like being smart and like the guy that's secretly smart or whatever. But any like the first movie that comes to mind when you start thinking great American movies, how many of them have to do with jocks and how many of them have to do with nerds?
I mean, I agree to a certain extent that Vivek is like, yeah, some typical, Americans are some lazy degenerates. And a lot of us, we have it so good, they don't want to excel because life's already good enough that they don't want to go out of their way to become the next, millionaire, billionaire. Why? If you're already happy, why do all this stuff? So I do agree to a certain point that we are some of the laziest fuckers and don't care. But at a certain point, I don't know. I think it was a little harsh. And he pissed off a lot of people by saying, you guys suck. Like, your culture sucks. It's like, well, fucker, you're here. If you you think our culture sucks this much, why are you here? Why are you running for politics?
Vivek's culture worships monkeys over Jesus. That is funny. But I mean, I still like Vivek.
I do too.
I want to like Vivek.
Him and Elon
I want to like Vivek. I'm almost getting to that point where it's like, am I telling myself I like him?
He's based. He said something based.
Yeah, like they
need to change their rhetoric and realize who their supporters are. Because I think him and Elon that week kind of lost grasp of who's backing them. And if they keep talking the way they are and do the stuff they're doing, they're just going to piss everyone off, and then it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be we had one fight and everyone's pissed.
Could somebody like Vivek, do you think he could become a Republican nominee ever?
After this, it's
Possibly.
up in the air
up in the
because
air,
you have to be very nationalistic to get it. And Vivek's been getting heat from pretty much every side after his comments on H-1Bs. Like I hate to say it, but Nikki Haley got a rare W on him, and like I am someone that was rooting for Vivek against Nikki Haley during the when they were on the nomination stage.
Yeah, let me pull that one.
But yeah, like you, Mihai, I want to like Vivek. I went viral asking him a question relating to climate change. He says a lot of things that I like, but like on this, I had to say that I disagree with him greatly, because it's not that Americans don't have the potential to succeed. It's that certain institutions are not being run effectively to bring out that potential. So it's not a matter of do we have the people to perform these jobs. It's that yes, but we're just not utilizing that potential correctly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you ever played the game Tropico.
I've heard of it, but no, I've never played it.
Tropico is a video game where you you're a dictator on like a small Caribbean island, and like you can either build your population over time, and like that's the right way to do it. Like the game's made to be played like over a long period of time, and things happen slowly. But if you want to like, you can print a bunch of money, like you change settings, print a bunch of money, and import a bunch of foreign workers, and that fucks up your whole country, and then almost every time results in a revolution. So I see where the concern comes from, I guess. Just from playing Tropico, I understand it. You know, I'm a dictator myself, El Presidente, in a small island, and I also don't like importing foreign workers when I don't have to. That's all I'm trying to say.
Right. But in other news, people are another reason we should talk about this. I don't think it's a waste of time to discuss it, and why I don't think it's a style is because a lot of people are nervous about Trump's response to it. They think he's a hypocrite on this issue, and I have my own thoughts on it. If you want to pull up the link, but he's getting heat from both sides from it, from the base and from Democrats, saying that he's selling out American workers, et cetera, et cetera. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
I'm sorry, real quick. Which link did you want? I missed that part.
Is Trump a hypocrite?
Okay. Gotcha. I don't know. I mean, Kyle was the one that Kyle, that fucking guy was here 3 weeks ago. Fucking Frank Grillo over here. This guy fucking
Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Did you just notice that actually?
I saw that his was PETA.
Yeah, yours is at PETA and yours is at Planned Parenthood. That is funny. No, but he was pretty much more on your side, I think. I mean, I'll let him speak for himself, but
you're gonna have to say that again.
On the H-1B visa take, I think you're more aligned with Jack. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily not aligned. Like I was misinformed.
No hate.
I had a lack of information
at all. I got absolutely no hate for Indians. It's just if pay them the same. How about that? If it's that important, if India has all these super geniuses that we need, bring them here. Pay them the same that you would an American worker, and I don't think anyone's going to fucking complain, because at that point, I don't think it's going to be too many people coming. But no, if you're just bringing people for any run-of-the-mill job and paying them less, or even the super genius jobs like the high-level engineering and whatnot like that, just pay them the same, and I don't think anyone's going to have an argument. Just don't pay them less because they're Indian and they're even though it's 30 times, even if you paid them less, it's probably a hell of a lot better than what they would have been making in India by far. That's still wrong. It's still slavery in a way. It's like, bring them here, pay them the same. If we really care about bringing geniuses and having the best of the best, don't pay them less. Bring them here, pay them what they fucking deserve, and I don't think anyone's gonna have a problem with that.
I think also part of it, if you did that, if that was the rule, I don't think you would bring in the worst labor if you had to pay them the same amount, right? There would be no reason for it.
If shit's that sophisticated and crazy, you shouldn't just be bringing it. Like, bring the best of the best, pay them what they deserve, end of discussion.
Well, let's figure out if Trump's a hypocrite before we figure out I'm a hypocrite.
The system better than me. I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me. I know the H-1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use, and I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers.
As we speak, we're finalizing H-1B regulations so that no American worker is replaced ever again. H-1Bs should be used for top, highly paid talent to create American jobs, not as inexpensive labor program to destroy American jobs.
Why did you change your mind on H-1B visas, sir?
I didn't change my mind. I've always felt we have to have the most competent people in our country. We need competent people. We need smart people coming into our country. And we need a lot of people coming in. We're going to have...
All right, I can't deal with the ban, but it does seem like he kind of changed his mind.
Yeah, he tends to do
based off of that 30-second... I mean... His words are his words, so I can't really say much about that. But Jack, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's being paid as if he's a hypocrite, but to me, not really. I see a lot of people trying to categorize this stances into two ways. It's either you are for Americans being exploited and you want H-1B. And you want the H-1B visa program as is, unaltered, or you want you want a race war with Indians, and you don't want any H-1B visas at all. You want it completely nuked. You don't want it. But plenty of people I've come across are, and like Donald Trump, for instance, just want it to be reformed. So nobody's against the idea that if you're a highly competent immigrant that's going to be a job builder, like you're Einstein, you're going to be the next Elon Musk. They're not against you coming to the United States and contributing to our economy. I don't think anyone is necessarily against that.
And that's also part of my point, Jack. Here.
So
that's part of my point. And I'm sure this is an exaggeration of what I'm about to say, but if every 2 in 500,000 of these H-1B visa program recipients are an Elon Musk and a Vivek Ramaswamy, would you not say that it's worth it then?
I mean, I would say, well, to counter that, I would say, are we getting them? I haven't really seen any proof that we are, because it's not that, again, a core aspect to this debate is the competency. Are our American workers just as capable of doing the jobs that these H-1B visa holders are capable of doing? And like from data that I've looked at, it's overwhelmingly yes. Like Americans are capable of doing these jobs, and there's nothing really on the books that makes these visa recipients better. It's just that they're more willing to work at lower wages, and I think that's like irresponsible immigration policy. Because if we're going to have any sort of immigration policy, it should be mutually beneficial to both immigrants and American workers. It should be a partnership, not just a one-sided exploitation.
Yeah, I get that. I got to interrupt you 1 second. I give a quick shout out to Mike Jury. If you guys remember the last episode, you guys need a deck built, you guys need stairs built, you got to need some carpentry work, you got to need a bathroom replaced. Mike Jury's your guy. So long as you are in State College, Pennsylvania, or Center County, he travels a little bit. He's the best. Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, but to reiterate
I have a question here. I want to pose to you.
I don't find it hypocritical.
I want to pose a question to everyone here, Jack. Let me try and get to an end point here, but I got to start out first. Do you trust Elon Musk?
Well, Elon Musk is a pretty funny guy. After this, I'm sure you guys saw that
Marie LaRue said this right here. I want to bring this up too. I want to trust Elon, but I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't know that I can trust a guy that has so much money that he could do whatever the fuck he wants at any moment with no regard to anybody else.
Yeah, that's the problem. He could, if he's not saying he'd switch sides or something like that, but I think he kind of has the...
Does he even have a side, or is he just his own side?
Yeah, it's like he might just be his own side.
Yeah, I think he answers to his own whims.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things. He has so much power and influence, he can do a lot of damage if he's on the wrong course.
Have you ever seen Alex Jones say, If Trump was Antichrist, I didn't know. I was unwillingly a follower, but it could be Elon Musk too. You ever seen that video, Jack?
I haven't.
No, I haven't. But yeah, my thoughts on Elon is that he's obviously a smart guy, but he can be. He's definitely someone that goes through on his whims, and there are times when I'm like very, very much with him, and other times when I'm just very much against him. I'm just like, I think he should look into this issue a little more. For instance, this week he's
hold on
been.
here. No
he's been
offense. No offense to the rest of us, Jack. Here. But no offense to the rest of us, but I'd like to get Tom. Like he seems to me like what is the most normal person of this group. No offense again to any of us, that's myself included.
Taken.
What like? I know you're not really involved in this whole world. Like, what are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
I started out loving him. I love like what he did with his businesses and the Boring Company, Tesla, SpaceX. Like, obviously, he has a proven track record, which is pretty good. But as he like has amassed money and also political power, I'm starting to shy away from him. Not to say that I've completely turned my back on him. I'm not the most politically savvy person on the face of the earth, but like
you did vote for Obama twice.
Obama.
That's where I can see it going both ways.
He wasn't old enough to vote then, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, no, he's not even a real person. He's his own character. Like,
I just respect him.
Figment
because
of our imagination.
He can at least he understands how the younger people's brains work and what's funny to us, and that's kind of rare to come by with people over the age of, no offense to anyone listening, over the age of 40. So it's kind of nice having someone around his age being able to understand how memes and
it is true. It's like it's a very different vibe from a guy like Warren Buffett, right?
Yeah. But go on.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say, despite even if you disagree with what Elon says, sometimes it's still reassuring to hear that one of the smartest men on the planet, one of the richest men on the planet, shares the same opinions you have and taste in memes.
And that's the thing, though. I like him so long as he's on our side. But what happens the moment he's not on our side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what this controversy what this debate is really waking people up to.
Yeah,
what he could really change sides at the snap of a finger, and that would really hurt us.
See what happens when his following has a different opinion to what he has, and it wasn't really that pretty when it happened the first time. So what other things does he not align with when it comes to Republicans and stuff like that? So he I don't know. I do like him just because he almost tweets like Donald Trump does. He just tweets what the fuck he wants to say. So that is respectful in itself. He doesn't have a PR team telling him you can't say this. So I like that a lot about him, but he does own the platform, and I don't know if stuff keeps on happening, like what happened to the Groypers or other people. If he just gets ratioed and somehow they start losing check marks or get mass reported or whatever, is like, well, you're going to piss a lot of people off. Believe it or not, that's a large part of his following. So it's like he needs to.
No, I definitely think it is.
They need to figure that one out and stop having hissy fits over shit.
But also, how many fucking followers does he have on Twitter?
Like
definitely
millions.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the most.
It's kind of funny.
Might be
Think
the
about
most.
it. He's kind of like the newer iteration of MySpace Tom. You guys know who that is? Even
say that again. Sorry, I was reading
MySpace Tom. You know who that is?
I feel like I've heard that before.
He was the founder of MySpace, but he was like friends with everybody on MySpace, and he had a profile.
Oh yeah,
a famous picture of him like waving. But he sold it, and I forget what he does. Like I think he's just like an artist or some shit. He's a photographer. That's what it is. He sold MySpace. Now he's just a photographer.
Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need to bring MySpace back.
MySpace kind of cool.
That was
MySpace
before
any.
Cool. I mean, we were alive when it was, I remember as a kid.
Whenever used it when we were.
I remember when I was a kid, my older siblings would use it, and it was a thing. So, but I think we were all a little bit too young to have our own profiles on that. But from what I heard or read, it was kind of a hilarious place.
Yeah, the one thing I remember my brother explained to me about is like when you would click on somebody's profile, like they would you would choose a song, like a theme song. So like if I like pulled up your Instagram, basically like a song would start playing, like
really
Many Men by 50 Cent, whatever the hell you choose. Like
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, Mihai, we might talk about this more tomorrow. But another controversy Elon has been getting into is the ongoing grooming gang scandal, or grooming gang cover-up scandal, I should say, in the UK.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
And I find that funny. And I find that funny because he's been talking about how he wants less negativity on the platform. Yet everyone, like in the EU, is calling him like a far-right bigot for weighing in on this controversy. Just sort of a funny development.
So give context here. So what's going on in England? I've seen bits and pieces about, like, these are stories that have been going on for a while. If you paid attention, the Muslims.
Yeah. So this story in particular is like it spans decades. It has to do with the Yorkshire police in the UK finding that a grooming gang made up of Pakistani men has been forming like rape gangs, essentially, going after young, like working class white girls, and they were feared. Like the police and politicians and law enforcement were afraid of how this might affect public perception of the Muslim demographic. So they've just covered it up, essentially. And there's a paper trail showing that this is the case. And again, we're probably going to get into this tomorrow. Like I have like links for that setup, but everyone is outraged over it. Because it really shows systemic incompetence. And so now but nobody in the UK Parliament has really been doing anything about it. So Elon learned about it, I guess, recently, or has just started looking more into it. And he's been outraged, and he's been going after the current sitting UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, who still hasn't done anything about it, despite criticizing prior past prime ministers for not doing anything. It's a really gross story, and I'm thankful to Elon for bringing it up. I know we were just like criticizing him for his H-1B visa stances, but again, that's the thing about Elon. He says on one day he can say a lot of things you disagree with, and another day he can be a major advocate and sway public opinion in a certain way that you really appreciate.
I hear you. Jack, let me ask you a question. Do you think the Pfizer vaccine makes boobs get bigger?
I have no idea.
This is important.
I think we need to get to the important stuff now, yes. If the Pfizer,
I saw they had a link about that. Do you want to pull that up?
I think we already did.
If the Pfizer vaccine made boobs bigger, would you get the Pfizer vaccine?
I would be like that guy from Fight Club. What's his face? You guys have all seen Fight Club, right?
I have not.
I have, yeah.
Okay, so at the beginning, there's like the protagonist. He's like in a male support group, and one of the guys has like these huge honking breasts, like fully developed breasts, like women's breasts, and he's just like, I'm still a man, and he's like he's crying, and he's like very overly emotional, and he hugs the protagonist and like puts his face in his breast. Yeah, so that's the image I'm thinking of. But if it's
what I'm hearing is yes,
effect,
you are now
but if it is
considering getting the vaccine.
Would I take the vaccine if it meant getting breasts? No, I wouldn't take it.
Would it influence your decision at all?
I guess it would. Yeah, it would be a negative side.
Wait, John, is the guy you're talking about fucking Robert Paulson?
His name is Robert Paulson.
Is that the fucking guy? The guy that's on fucking John's hat? The fucking guy? Only my best, Robert Paulson. That's the guy you're talking about? The chat freaked the fuck out when you didn't say his name. That's hilarious. Oh, well, it's all coming together. That's who Robert Paulson is. See, I was just so afraid to ask John at this point. I've known him for so long. And he wears that hat every day. And I know he's not Robert Paulson. But I didn't know that I wanted to know who Robert Paulson was. That's fascinating.
Also, I apologize to Chim for ripping on the 40-year-olds. I know most of you guys.
Fuck that! I saw that guy. Fuck that guy. He's the 40-year-old sitting here watching a bunch of Zoomers. What the fuck's he talking about?
Sorry, I still love you.
Complaining.
It's just it's hard to find people around that age that understand the meme culture. Not saying they all don't. A lot of them do, but most of them don't. And it's hard to have having conversations with my dad is almost impossible because half of what you see in the news
Show 'em
now
a
are
picture and they're
it's
just
just
put their
memes
glasses
and
on.
it's meme on top of meme. If you don't understand the meme from 8 years ago, you won't understand the one from last week. So it's kind of hard, but I do love the fact that some, I don't want to say elders, but it is nice to see that some people appreciate the meme culture and can understand it and relate to it.
Yep.
These are the true cutting edge topics right here. We need actual meme degrees.
Honestly, it'd be
You're
more
joking.
useful than a
Eventually,
lot
it
of
probably will be.
Yeah, honestly. It'd be more useful. And yes, I can't
Destroying
confirm
a meme.
Robert Paulson is the guy with boobs.
That's him, yeah.
That's funny. I would have never known.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Is it a good movie? Is it worth watching?
It's a very good movie.
It's been I remember watching it probably it's been
Jesus.
at least 8 years. But
The guy died from ALS.
Rip.
Guess
Oh, that's sad.
all because you didn't do that ice bucket challenge, Jack.
Shame.
Yeah, you let him die.
Yeah, the author Chuck Palahniuk.
No, he's got better
He's a pretty
things
good
to do.
author. Like
He's pretty busy.
He writes a. Yeah.
What do you do in your free
last
time?
year
Jack?
I read.
What do you do in your free time?
Me?
Yeah, how many prostitutes you been killing this since I last saw you?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. I mainly spend it reading, just like playing video games, watching movies,
What
etc.
games you been playing?
Right now it's Marvel Rivals. I just hit gold rank, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
start
surprising.
playing
Like
that, but
I would expect it with how shit Marvel movies have been. I was expecting the game to be equally shit, but no, it's actually fun.
Yeah,
And
I've heard only good
I
things
prefer
so
it.
far.
What's up?
I said I've only heard good things so far about it.
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's only it's not even in the first season. It's still in the like 0 season. So like I hit gold rank, so I'm hoping that I get a special skin at the end of the season, but who knows?
What do you call that style of game?
I forget. It's
like the that and League of Legends or
I just call it PvP.
Not that. It's I don't know what I'm thinking of, but it's like that style of game I can't do. When it comes to like Marvel Rivals, League of Legends, or Overwatch, games like that, I can't do. My brain just turns to putty.
Online battle arena? Multiplayer online battle arena game?
Oh, like,
yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like it's not for everyone. Like I can get really pissed off sometimes based on how like bad my team is. It's a lot of the time it's random, and so every game is a bet. You have different roles that you have to fulfill. They have to fill. Like you have your tank, you have your healer, you have your like your strategist where you just get kills, etc. And if somebody's incompetent and there's a weak link, then you pretty much lose. And you have and in ranked, when every single time you play a game, you either go up in rank or go down in rank, it gets really frustrating. But that's what makes the game fun.
MOBAs, what he just said in the chat. Yeah, I can't do those. I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, that's what I just
Dog shit
said.
at them.
I just didn't use the acronym.
Oh,
Multiplayer online battle arena. That's what MOBA means.
I didn't even listen.
I got hoes calling. What's the next word? What's the next word?
You might get some. You might get a laugh out of this. So I bought a new PC because I've been playing PC games for the past like 8 years. I gave up on Xbox because you just get more bang for your buck when it comes to computer. But either way, I bought a new computer.
I'm still holding strong.
Like $2,800 I spent on this. So it's a nice computer. It's pretty, either way, it's a nice computer. I spent $2,800 on this fucking thing. I got it. It ran worse than my previous computer that I built when I was in 8th grade. And I couldn't figure out why. There was no reason for it. My dumbass took until yesterday to figure out why. I did all these things, all this Googling, all this. I was on Reddit for an ungodly amount reading all these threads just to figure out what was wrong with these some games ran fine, some didn't. It was because of Norton security. That shit fucking sucks. If you have Norton security, get rid of it. It's completely fucking your computer over.
Interesting. It's probably the
and I didn't even know I had Norton security. It came with my computer for free for like an 8-month trial for free.
It's probably Mossad.
Yeah, it's someone.
They got all your data now.
Someone's looking at all my search history, and all they're getting is stupid YouTube searches. But either way, for all this time, I was playing Counter-Strike, all these other games, and I kept getting packet loss, and I had no idea why. And it kept kicking me from servers and all this stuff. And it's because of Norton Security had a game optimizer thing subscribed. So I unsubscribed for that, and next thing you know, my games are running great. So yeah, anyone listening, if you have Norton, get rid of that shit. Fucking ruins your computer.
Interesting. And Norton, it was McAfee.
Yeah,
the
McAfee.
Guy.
That guy's
that guy's
dead.
Awesome.
Whatever happened to that dead man switch he had?
I don't know. What are you even talking about?
When that
I guess it never activated.
It never. I guess it didn't work. But when he was going a little, I don't want to say
AWOL?
crazy because he might have been right. But either way, he went AWOL and all this shit. And then he was like, if I die, I didn't commit suicide, and I have a dead man switch. So if I do die, this shit will get released. And as far as I know, nothing ever got released.
Maybe he was bluffing.
Maybe he was bluffing and he just killed himself for the memes. But
or maybe he was trying, like whoever killed him, he was trying to get them to not kill him. Like one last, fuck, I gotta think of something.
He pressed it and died.
Dead man switch.
Well, he pressed it. Wouldn't have something come out?
Or it was I think you're missing the point. It was literally a dead man switch.
Oh, okay.
I think he pressed a button and then it killed him.
Didn't work the way he thought.
No, he had the wires backwards. He crossed them at some point.
He pissed someone off.
Yeah.
McAfee is alive. Had like 20 lookalikes. Says Damien.
I'd hope at some point he'd come out and say something. Be like, "What up, motherfuckers?"
Yeah. We talked about. We asked the question if Trump is a hypocrite. But there's also another link I have on asking if Vivek is a hypocrite, and I would say it's different compared to Trump's video. If you want to pull that up, if you're curious.
Sum it up for me, Jack.
Yeah, so essentially it's Vivek with Charlie Kirk talking like critically of the H-1B visa system. He he's on video saying, "Hey, yeah, there are all these sorts of abuses, et cetera, et cetera." And to me, like it's weird how he never brought up any of these abuses when it was getting criticized the past week, and to me that just raises red flags.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like it still blows my mind though. Like I don't know if it's slow. It's not even a slow news cycle though. We had 2 terrorist attacks in one day, but like the fact that 800 or 500,000, whatever number it is, Indians coming to America to work on visas. That's the top. That's the thing that's going to break up all MAGA. To me, that still blows my mind.
Yeah, well, I'm
not saying who's right, who's wrong. Wild to me that we can't come to a mutual agreement on this.
Have any of you guys looked into the I don't know new flu that's been going on in China or whatever?
I have seen about. Dude, I don't know.
No, what?
Perfect timing though.
It is.
Another pandemic was about to happen. Perfect timing.
As soon as
who would
Trump
have thought? Who would have thunk it?
I'll try and Google it. This wasn't the flu, but it was something like the flu, and similar stories to what you saw coming out of China around March 2020. Flu? Yeah, I remember. Do you remember like the month before COVID happened, like here in America, and like the moment that sticks out the most to me, like I went to like class, and there was a Chinese kid in the class, and he had 2 masks on and one of those plastic face visors over top of his head. And I laughed at him, and I like went back home. I was like, tell my friends, they're all like, "Oh, what an idiot! Like, what kind of person would do that?" And then 2 weeks later, shut down. Everyone's doing it. I was like, "What the hell just happened?" It all happened so quick, but they said 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and that was all it was going to take. 2 weeks, and we all believed it, and it turned into almost 2 years.
This Newsom has Kylie on red alert over one dude getting bird flu. Well, next thing we know, it's going to be the. I mean, for all we know, and give it fucking
that's
3
different,
weeks.
Though.
We're
The
gonna be
bird
locked
flu
down.
story is different. It's a different virus than bird flu. So that came out months ago, where they were saying bird flu is going to be the thing, and
That's all I've heard about.
transmittable
I don't
to
know what you're
humans.
talking about. Everyone I've heard about is the bird flu, something with China, people getting sick, hospitals already getting over it. Basically, the same thing I have with COVID. So I won't be surprised.
Well,
but
bird
hopefully
flu
not.
isn't transmittable to.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Humans, at least not that we know of. HMPV. That's the one. That's the new. Okay, here I'll pull this up.
So should I stop killing pigeons and fucking grilling them?
Pangolins. You got to kill the pangolins.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Human metapneumovirus. I think that.
Spit it out. Yeah.
I think that might be it. Human metapneumovirus, also known as HMPV, is reportedly surging in China, raising questions about what the illness is and if that's a concern to those in the United States. Officials in India have also confirmed cases of HMPV. 7 people there have contracted the virus as of Tuesday, according to the Indian Council of Medical Research. Chinese health officials have not confirmed the HMPV is what is driving hospitalization in the country. In recent reports, China's Center for Disease Control and Prevention indicates the increase may actually be due to influenza. But with less public knowledge around HMPV in the U.S., worries of potential new pandemic have risen. Though experts say there isn't a need for alarm. I feel like I've heard that one before, too. I just don't know. Were you in the military during COVID?
I was.
What was that like?
I have a very interesting intake on COVID, or how it started. When it originally started, I was actually guarding the border down in Mexico, outside of Chula Vista, San Diego. And it was very interesting because I wasn't sure what was going on. I knew the lockdown was coming, but I was in 29 Palms, and that's in the middle of the desert. For you who don't know, there's nothing around, and so it really didn't exist on
29 Palms.
Yeah, 29 Palms. I think I saw it in the chat. I think someone was in 3rd LAR earlier, but it really didn't exist on my side of the base, on like where the infantry was. Yeah, it's
damn, dude, that literally looks like the Middle East.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's most known for Joshua Tree National Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
Did you go
right
there?
out the front door? Yep.
How was that?
Beautiful. If you like the desert, it really grows on you too. Stumps, yeah, 29 stumps.
Interesting. And so that's where you were during COVID.
I was, and I really didn't notice it other than like going to the PX, the Marine Corps. We didn't believe that it existed in the field. So anytime we were training, COVID didn't exist.
There was no social distancing.
Yeah, a bunch of people would try to get out of training and say they had COVID, and the docs would tell them to move their pack 15 feet to the left and keep on keeping on.
That's funny. How real men train for war, huh?
Yeah, COVID's not going to stop you going to war.
Ain't that the truth? Actually,
yeah, I don't have the link on me, but I don't have the link on me, but I recall seeing an article of the FBI concluding that they or concluding with moderate confidence that COVID was grown in a lab, but that story seems to have just been suppressed or just
I thought that was
widely
fact.
reported on.
It was in mainstream media already, but
you would think it would be accepted as a fact.
Even if that is the case, and even if it was, told to the general public, nobody looked and realized. As far as I know, most people I know still think COVID was just the whodunit, what happened, where'd it come from, and at this point, I think we're kind of positive it was either us or China or someone that made it and released it. I don't think anyone. No one talked about that.
Who's the Jon Stewart? Do you ever see what his take was on it?
Oh yeah, on Stephen Colbert, it's something regarding chocolate factories, if I recall.
Yeah, it was like. So you're telling me that there's a lab that deals in novelty coronavirus in Wuhan, China, but it was actually the wet market where they were eating bats that caused the novelty coronavirus outbreak, not the lab that creates novelty coronavirus strains 2 miles away from there. And that was in the peak of COVID on Stephen Colbert, who was the guy that had the Pfizer shots dancing around his show. So you can imagine how that went over.
Don't remind me.
The
play
Pfizer
that?
dance.
Catch
Yeah,
the
I should.
tune.
Let me see if I can find that. We haven't really had
The
any
Corona
good
dance,
YouTube
the
videos. Yeah.
the coronavirus vaccine dance, or Jon Stewart's rant.
Pfizer dance. Maybe,
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I'm sure it was sponsored by Pfizer. That's my guess. Oh, the vaccine.
I saved $700.
Well, Liberty Mutual wants you to save $700 though. This is real. This happened.
Sellouts. This team will do Bears up there.
In another life, this right here is Frank. In another, if a couple things break another way, this is the path you end up on here. That's red hair Frank right there.
I almost signed up for that gig. I saw it
He saw it on Craigslist.
LinkedIn. Yeah, I saw it on Craigslist LinkedIn. I was like, maybe I should. But part of it was you had to sign your soul away to the fucking devil. So chose not to.
Boys, I have to take a bathroom break, so I'm putting you in charge here, and we're going to wrap up here soon, but try and keep the conversation going because I'm about to pee myself. Jack, I can't put you on, but you can still talk.
Yeah, okay.
How was your week, Jack?
I'll manage.
Anything exciting?
Like I said, just chilling in Indiana until I come back mid-January. Then I can start showing up in person. But yeah, what are your guys' predictions for 2025? Do you think it's going to be a good year, bad year?
I think a lot of shit's going to happen. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be a lot of bullshit. I'm predicting, Frank is predicting a lot of false flags. A lot of them. Especially, I mean, I think something major is going to happen before Trump takes office. They're not just going to let this one slide. Something's going to happen. So that's what I'm predicting. I think something crazy is going to happen here soon. Hopefully not bad. Hopefully no one gets killed over some fucking stupid shit, but I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll see an increase in, like, similar to the New Orleans attack and also the Vegas. I think we'll see more terrorist threats coming to our homeland here.
And we're not going to know whether it's a real terrorist or if it's, some government psyop. You never know.
Exactly.
It's almost impossible to know.
I think there's going to be psyops in the form of just the media just blowing things out of proportion. Like there's going to be maybe a police shooting. Notice how there was never any real major BLM controversy during the Biden presidency. I think you're going to see those artificially come to light during a Trump presidency to try and get people to riot under him and say, look at all this massive unrest under Trump. Isn't he a fascist?
What did I just walk into?
What are your predictions for 2025, Mihai?
I said false flags, some kind of...
I think the biggest terrorist attack in the history of the United States is going to happen.
October 7th type deal.
Yeah, I think October 7th was a practice run for what's going to happen. Did you see Sarah Adams on the Sean Ryan show?
Yeah.
Actually, scared me. I bought
I didn't watch
3 more mags for my AR after I watched that.
What happened in that? I didn't watch it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
She's just an ex-intelligence officer. William Jefferson.
Rubin.
Holy crap, Bill Clinton's watching? 29 palms, 115 plus summers, 0% humidity, and plenty of Asian rub and tugs, exotic massages, they call it.
They got
I'm assuming you know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
I don't.
do A1 massage. I don't know if you're familiar. I think A1 massage, baby.
Might have given them $1 too.
So do you tip them? How does that work?
I think it's included. I think it's a package deal.
Gotcha.
Whatever the most expensive one is.
I think I have one of those near where I live at school, and
I was about to say, man.
I don't know. One of these times, might have to get a massage. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that, but or would I?
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
I assume you guys
always
watch
wondered if
sports.
A little bit.
Yeah.
These
Not-
Kyle,
did you guys hear about
I'm not that
Joy?
big. I
fucking Frank Grillo over there. He doesn't watch sports games.
I watch him. I just
he
don't
doesn't
give a
play
fuck.
sports games. I meant is what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
play
I
sport
was
games.
gonna
I'd
say-
rather kill myself than fucking play NCAA or Madden. I genuinely would rather put a
wild,
gun in my
man.
mouth and
Wild.
kill myself.
Do you play
Yeah, 'cause-
sports games at all, Tommy?
Not really. I try to mostly military games. Honestly, I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
yeah,
just the nerd in
makes
me
sense.
or what.
Okay.
Jack, do you play sports games?
Not really, no. But
So
I was
I'm
just
the
going to
only
say that a bonus story that we could talk about is the Fox News Sports controversy, where one of their commentators, Joy Taylor, was revealed to
Yeah.
have been having sex with other people behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
What is this?
Huh?
What is
Jack,
this?
give him a rundown real quick while I try and pull some stuff up.
Yeah, so Fox News sports commentator Joy Taylor was revealed to have been having like sex with people behind the scenes for her position, and like a lot of people have been weighing in on it, like saying, "Oh, yeah, well, this is obviously immoral. Like you shouldn't be having sex to move up." And other people have pointed out how she was planning on accusing like her higher ups of not wanting of sexual harassment, et cetera, et cetera. And do you think that's I don't know, like I feel like as though I know what your guys' stance on this will be, but do you think that's just sort of scummy behavior, like usually like consenting to like sex for a position, and then when it's no longer convenient for you, say, "Oh my God, I was a victim," because that seems to be a lot of what that seems to be a lot of what false Me Too accusations seem to boil down to.
I don't know. I don't. I honestly don't. I think the whole situation is kind of hilarious. I feel kind of bad for her. So she got like name dropped in a lawsuit that had nothing to do with her. All right, if I'm remembering correctly, and this all kind of came to light. It's all hilarious. I think Antonio Brown had the best tweet. You guys remember the woman police officer that got caught like having sex with all, and she like became a meme.
Yeah.
Like the entire police department.
Yeah.
As she was married.
Antonio Brown tweeted this picture where this is Joy Taylor, and he put her head on that police officer's body. That's unbelievable.
I think the moral sword: don't sleep with your boss, and if you're the boss, don't sleep with your coworkers.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, true, but just don't. Then you won't have these problems. Don't sleep your way to the top.
It's not even like,
and don't get people to the top by fucking them.
Skip Bayless apparently like tried to pay her, I don't know, it was like $1.5 million to have sex with her though. Like it wasn't even she was having sex with her boss. Like that's a coworker pimping, like trying to fucking prostitute her.
Yeah, is that prostitution at that point?
I think. I mean, it'd have to be, right? What's the difference in that?
Yeah, but the funniest
that's
take
white collar
I saw
prostitution as opposed to blue collar prostitution, though.
Yeah, but the funniest take I saw on this would have to come from Jason Whitlock. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he said that back when he was working for Fox News, he said that he consciously avoided her because he didn't want to give into temptations. He said that he was turned. He said that she knew what she was doing with her like her big honkers being out and her like peanut butter skin. Like the way he was describing it was just so funny.
Yeah, I tried to pull up an article, and the first one that came up here is I put it up on the wrong window, but yeah, that's not going to work. All right, well, the headline is Jason Whitlock slams Joy Taylor with sexually charged sexist comments from Yahoo News. Thanks, Yahoo. Really give me the unbiased take there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like something that's happened since the dawn of time, though. I don't really know how to stop it. It's the same thing as saying, like, the Hawk Tua girl, there's a reason that she blows up and we don't blow up, right? If I could just pretend I'm spitting on a dick in some street interview.
Well, I think it's because Howie Mandel told her she was Jewish, right? That's why she's...
Is she?
Is that
Did you see that, Jack? Did you see that or no?
No, I never
She
saw
was
that.
on like the Howie Mandel podcast, and they did like a 23andMe for her or some shit. And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're a little Jew." She's like, "No."
Well, with the whole crypto scam, that probably doesn't paint that demographic in a positive light.
Has she said anything since then?
I don't really know.
No, she's disappeared.
Let me
She's
pull up
gone radio
Twitter.
silent.
She got her bread and dipped. That's what I would have done.
What's her
with
real
my
fucking
5 minutes
name?
of fame?
Haley
Welsh.
something.
Ellie Welsh, yeah.
Haley Welsh, yeah.
Like the fruit snacks or grape juice.
Yeah.
Maybe she's smarter than all of us, like anyone, because she knew her fame was coming
Yeah.
to an end, and they had to do a rug pull with crypto. Because it's either make out with maybe
Yeah, wow.
$100,000 or a couple million.
She has not posted since the crypto thing, the apology.
Yeah, she
Her apology on December 20th, and then the last thing before
did
that
the old
was
exit
the
scheme.
retweet from December 4th. Wow.
Ever since I haven't seen, she hasn't been making podcasts, and I've been depressed.
Wow,
I have
wait.
nothing to watch now.
Yeah, what the fuck,
I have
dude?
absolutely nothing to do in my free time.
So you just play video games in
I
silence
guess,
now?
yeah. Until she comes back, I won't be happy, and I'm going to contemplate killing myself. Need her back.
Seems a bit extreme, but you
No,
can go to Applebee's.
You clearly weren't a talk to a enjoyer.
No, I'm not in the talk to a.
They talked about things like quantum physics.
I do have to give
the
it to her though.
political state of the world.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was-
She's a cutting-edge
micro and
journalist.
macroeconomics.
No one else like her.
Yes. It is a smart name though. I got to give her that.
What the talk to a podcast?
Talk to a from derived from
genius,
Talk to a. It is.
genius level stuff there.
If I was only a Southern blonde belle, I too would be famous by now. One way or another.
Maybe we should get the Pfizer.
I don't know, but
Get some tits.
I should not speak too soon because who knows where her career goes from this point. But I was gonna say I respect her for not having an OnlyFans, but who knows?
Yeah, give it a couple months. We'll see.
Yeah, or she might even have one. Who knows? Does anybody anybody actually follow? Talk to a girl?
No, I was just
No.
I've never. I mean, I think I watched 10 minutes of one, and my ears bled. I'm joking, but it's probably more entertaining than us.
Yeah. Well, here we are throwing stones from a glass house, aren't we? Something like
Yeah.
that. What do you do in your free time, Tommy? You listen to a lot of Talk to her?
I like to shoot.
Yes.
A lot of people don't love that.
Shoot at what?
I like to shoot
No, I think these people like that. Don't you have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about, especially coming back to a university like Penn State. It's very it's hard to talk about firearms and my passion. But yeah, I mean, every day I'm free and I don't have homework. I'm out on the range shooting.
And you don't just shoot; you train like real life scenarios and stuff like that, right?
I do. I'm a big believer in the Second Amendment and also self-defense. I really think it's your responsibility.
Like the other gun tubers, do you call this your workspace? This is my workspace. Don't fuck with me.
we were talking about gun tubers a little bit earlier before we got on the show, actually. And I said Brandon Herrera is my favorite, but before that said Grantham was one of my favorite.
Grantham?
Apparently, that's not a good take anymore.
So he's a freak? Is that what happened? Yeah. This guy's just a freak in the.
You know anything
DMs?
about the gun tuber world, Jack?
What's up?
You know anything about the gun tuber world? Do you know who Grantham is?
Like Brendan Straka, like donut operator. I have a passing knowledge of him. I know.
I think donor operators
one of
loosely
them
affiliated.
ran for Texas.
Yeah, that was
for Texas office.
Brendan Herrera.
Yes, I watched him.
Oh, Brendan Herrera.
The
Yeah,
AK
that's right.
guy.
Brendan Herrera.
AK guy. Yeah.
AK-50.
Yeah, he lost against a gun grabber in Texas. I don't know how that happens.
I think whoever he was running against has been there, so he was definitely the underdog in that situation.
And, yeah, he was definitely.
I don't think he did
a
that
lot.
bad for a first time running, not being in politics. I think he did pretty okay. So
yeah,
maybe next time.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, what
Hold
I was
on.
talking about earlier is these.
Okay,
gun
so
tubers
wait,
hilarious.
explain to me what happened with Grantham because I have a tweet I want to pull up that is fucking hilarious.
I don't know. All I kind of saw is that he's just a freak in the DM. He's into some
I think the whole situation, the controversy started with his wife accidentally posted that they were getting divorced onto a public channel where all of the followers were able to see that they were getting divorced, and it was supposed to be a private affair. And then people started looking into it, and it turned out he ended up being on all these breeding kink websites where...
Oh, God.
It was a very... yeah, it's a big controversy.
This is the first time hearing of such a thing. I didn't even know there was such a kink, let alone
a Republican
websites
being a
for such
sex freak. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it is.
When does that
wild.
ever happen?
It is wild. And this is the tweet I want to pull out. It's from a while ago, I guess, but still, it's hilarious. It has been 0 days since trannies tried to cancel the Grand Thumb crew again, and that is from Grand Thumb himself. And I guess background context to those listening and don't know who this is. He's a gun tuber. Where does he live? Like Idaho or something like that, and a couple million subscribers. Was generally thought to be a cool guy, and I still think he is. But hey,
yeah, he might maybe we're
the one on the wrong train. I don't fucking
know. Who knows?
His content's
I still have no idea what a breeding kink even is.
Let's go for the Google. Let's go with the Google.
You might not want to Google that.
But it's not my computer; it's John's. Breeding kink. Oh, the first thing, WebMD. That's interesting.
that's yeah. Click that.
There we go.
They told me I had cancer.
What is a breeding fetish? From Sabrina Felsen. Breeding fetish is a strong attraction to the idea of getting someone else pregnant. Frequently, this fetish...
So just sex.
You've never heard of this, Jack? This is one of those
I mean, it sounds as though...
the old cream pie.
It sounds like a fetish and more like the normal reason to have sex.
This fetish involves a person with a penis ejaculating.
Is this a fetish?
I don't understand how you call it a fetish. This
it's like you want to impregnate someone.
Fucking 60 years ago, that was just sex.
This is just called being a dad or a mom. I don't get what the fetish.
I guess it's like a sort of like a Genghis Khan aspect to it, though. He's got to like. Yeah. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, but with Genghis Khan, you're impregnating your enemy's concubine or your enemy's women.
Okay, well, let's...
Would it then be a rape fetish?
I might have pulled off... I started to take it unserious, but then I scrolled down and...
What's with that dog?
What is the difference between a fetish...
doing?
We're going to get to the dog. What is the difference between a breeding fetish and a pregnancy fetish? Pregnancy fetish and attraction to pregnant people. The fetish might include the appreciation for how bodies change during pregnancy. Okay. On the other hand, breeding fetish is... solely focused on the act of impregnation.
I feel much smarter now.
The dog got pregnant.
That dog is us. He's throwing up his kibble, having to listen to this.
Safety advice. That's it. I don't know. I said that a lot tonight because I just don't know how. I don't know where the world's at. I don't know what, like. How did this be like? How do we get here? How do we get to a point where people are having breeding fetishes?
We got here through mass pregnancy or through mass breeding fetish, Mihai. That's the quick answer.
Does everybody? Maybe we need more breeding fetish if you look at our birth rate, though.
Elon was on
being
something.
hard on the guy. Elon's probably proud.
He was onto
You're right.
something.
You're right.
I think
Elon,
if anyone has a breeding kink, it's Elon.
Freaking Tyreek Hill, fucking Phillip Rivers. How many kids does Phillip Rivers have? You know who Phillip Rivers is?
No.
He's a quarterback. I can't believe you guys don't know who fucking Phillip Rivers.
Sports.
Go sports.
Go sports ball. Phillip Rivers, he was like, he played for the Chargers when Brady was at the Patriots, and like Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, like that's that.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard the name before, but I couldn't.
Quarterback.
If you were standing right in front of me, I wouldn't know.
10 kids. He's got 10 kids. Interesting. I thought it was more than that, but even still, 10's a pretty large number of kids. I had a theory. I had an idea once. I wanted 10 kids. At one point in my life, I did want 10 kids.
I would if I could afford 10 kids, but if that's a lot of money.
Yeah, when I started like actually verbalizing it and saying it out loud, I started to realize how impossible it was, because I realized it would have to be 10 years straight with a woman of 9 months pregnant, 3 months off, 9 months pregnant, 3 months off. Which I mean, it doesn't affect me, but finding a woman that would do that would be kind of hard.
Yeah, I don't think many women in today's world would ever agree to that. This is no longer
No, feminism ruined that for me.
Back in the day, maybe, but
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. Like, back in the day, they had to have 12 kids because half of them died before they were 10.
yeah.
Chronic here is still sticking around. Where's John at, man? It's been a while. It's been a long time since we heard from the deacon himself. Where has he been?
Hunting bears.
He doing wanted to wish Johnny Mo Jack a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, I'll let him know when I see him. As far as I know, he's still trying to get a bear. And John was here for the first 2 minutes of the episode while I set up the stream, and I kind of explained it. I don't know. This is what the Ciderhaus is supposed to be, and the idea is having this rotating guests and rotating cast people coming in and out, and college town, and all the people grow old and they leave, but then new people come, and so this is kind of the first iteration of what the show was supposed to be from the start. And Jack, you were there from the start. I mean, we freaking started the Ciderhaus in John's apartment, and obviously all credit goes to John, but here we are trying to do it.
Obviously we're going to have different kinds of guests on the show. We're just going to see where it goes. I'm optimistic on the show's future. But if you guys have any guests that you would like to see us bring on, then we're open to that. It's not just confined to people who are local. It's like online personalities. I have a couple of people in mind that we can start bringing. But if you have any thoughts, then by all means, like, leave a comment and just let us know in the chat who you would like to see us bring on.
Yeah.
We also might start participating in other online shows. That's something that I think we should start doing. Like, attend some panels, like give like a tokened perspective on the issues. No harm in doing that.
No. What do you got in mind? Are you going to go to a Destiny debate? Are you going to debate
maybe a
Destiny?
Maybe a Destiny debate. Maybe
how much money do you
like
think
Twitch
we would have?
Politics.
How much money do you think we would have to pay Destiny to debate you, Jack?
I mean, sometimes he does shit for free. It just depends on if he's in the mood for it.
Yeah, I guess you just got to get.
We could get in touch with Andrew Wilson, see if maybe he'd be down for an interview.
Andrew Wilson, who's Andrew Wilson?
He's pretty much he's an online debater, sort of like Rob Noor. You can find his work over at the Crucible. Like he's mainly he's well known for debating like OnlyFans girls on the Whatever podcast. But I feel like he and John Ward would hit it off pretty well.
Is he?
I feel like they have
a religion guy, or I have the wrong guy pulled up here.
Yeah, I think he's the one that he just.
Well, he is religious, but like he's mainly known for debating.
If it's who I'm thinking of, he just roasts OnlyFans women. He's on the Fresh and Fit podcast. He's always on, or is that something else? Or no, who's the one? White guy, bald head.
Fucking whatever.
I think it's that one.
Whatever
He's on that
podcast,
one. I can't remember the name, but
I think Jack just said that too, which is funny.
Yeah, I always see him on that one.
Yeah, I've never heard of such thing, but hey, anybody else got anything else they want to say? We are at 8:07.
I think it's that time.
Jack, say goodbye.
Well, we have another show on Thursday. I think Michael is going to be joining us. I don't know if John will be there, but
John will be here because I will not be here. I will be actually down in Miami watching Penn State win their way to the national championship.
All right, sweet. Then, but I'll definitely be here on Thursday. So if you want, be sure to tune in. But yeah, it was nice meeting. I think I met both of you for the first time tonight, right, Frank and?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was dinner that one time, but I think that was a different Frank.
Yeah, I know. Frank wasn't at my birthday party, but what was that? Doofenshmirtz was, I think.
Yeah, Doofenshmirtz was at your birthday. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, fuck the Irish.
Yeah. Go ahead and say goodbye, Frank, while you're at it.
Fuck the Irish. Go Penn State. Sports,
yeah.
You have fun in Miami.
Yeah. All right. Tommy Conlon, thank you very much for joining us. First time on the show as well. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's been a fun time.
And as always, I'd like to thank you all for letting me waste your time. I am Mihai Shogor. You watched the Ciderhaus again on a Tuesday, and for that, I am grateful. We didn't hit our stream goal tonight. We did not get a single phone call, although I only put it up once. I can really only blame myself for that. Next time we'll be here, we'll do the phone calls again, and maybe maybe we will get to have someone drink out of the helmet of shame. But until then, thank you very much. Goodbye.